Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. How many of you love chamber music? I love chamber music. I really do. The only reason I don't talk about it more is because there aren't enough people who love chamber music. I mean, I know you will, and when we get into this, you will love it even more. But, if I do a chamber music talk, I watch the statistics, and they flatline when I do chamber music. I do it out of love. Not because I know it's going to be popular, and I don't believe that we should always cater to that which is most popular. But this is a popular medium, and I do want people to pay attention to what we're talking about. So I'm doing a chamber music box, people. I hope that you tell your friends to listen to chamber music and to follow these talks about chamber music, because I just think it's people are really missing something by leaving out chamber music from their general musical listening experiences. I mean, I don't need to convince you. I'm preaching to the converted. But hello, if you need converting, convert. Let's go. Come on, get into it. Especially this. This is BIS's Trio Zimmerman box that just came out. I'm really excited about this. It's a special price. And it has, let's see, how many CDs? It's SACDs for the most part. 5 hours and 34 minutes. So the 5-disc set, special price. And there's only one piece in here. Well, there's one disc that may be a little gnarly and difficult. But the rest of it, you're going to love. What do you get? Let me just tell you what you get, and then you should just go listen to it. First, you get Bach's Goldberg variations arranged for string trio. Now, the Goldberg variations, as you know, has been arranged for every possible combination of instruments, from slide ocarinas to PDQ Bach's left-handed sewer flute to, string orchestra and string ensemble and chamber ensembles, and it's very popular on the accordion for reasons that absolutely passeth understanding. But there you go. I mean, it's one of those things. Just because Bach wrote it for a keyboard, that doesn't mean you need to play it on a keyboard. Of course not. Absolutely. Anyway, this is an absolutely marvelous performance of the Goldberg variations as arranged for string trio. And it's fun to listen to. It's just so beautifully played. And what's not to love? So there's that. Next, we get the Mozart Divertimento in E-flat, Kerschel 563, which is quite simply the greatest string trio ever written by anybody ever. That's it. It is a huge work. It's got like 6 movements, and it's enormous. It's about 50 minutes long. It's astonishing. It's one of those works where, Mozart was one of those geniuses where once you set him a problem to solve, he wasn't just going to solve it in like a minor way. He was going to solve it by writing the most colossal masterpiece, that ever solved that particular issue. And that issue is how to write a great string trio. In the classical period, that was really a question, because the string trio as such, that is violin, viola, and cello, didn't exist. Particularly, Haydn wrote a whole slew of them. Only one of them is for that combination. All the others are for just 2 violins and bass of some kind. The Baroque continuo kind of formulation was still very much current. So when Mozart wrote this piece, in which you have only 3 strings with no possibility of any further harmonic support, and each one is completely fabulously at once independent, but at once part of an ensemble in which any particular voice can be supported by the others at any given time, and he does it in the form of this enormous work. I mean, it's impossible to describe just how great a piece this is. And I did a separate review of this disc, a separate video, praising this exact performance with Trio Zimmerman, because it's just amazing. Absolutely fabulous. And you also get Schubert's Trio in B-flat major, which is a not inconsiderable bonus. So on disc number 3 and 4, you get Beethoven's string trios. And that's the Trio in E-flat major, Opus 3, the Serenade in D major, Opus 8, which is sort of transparently, hearkening to Mozart, and the Trios Opus 9, numbers 1 through 3. Now, the reason Beethoven wrote these string trios is because Haydn was doing quartets, and Mozart had done quartets, and they were up here. But string trios were sort of down here somewhere in the rankings. He didn't have to fear comparison if he did, especially the Opus 9 trios, which are great, great works. Amazing works, fabulous, fabulous works. And the string trio has not been taken up since then by many composers. There's that lovely little Dochnani serenade for string trio and a few other pieces, but not a lot. Not a lot at all. So it's really rather, wonderful that we have these incredible pieces from the Baroque and classical period. Of course, the Baroque isn't really Baroque because they arranged the Goldberg variations, but the Mozart and Beethoven stuff, which is absolutely astounding. And, the performances, again, are immaculate, fabulously in tune, beautifully paced, stunningly recorded by BIS. I mean, but then you get to disc 5. All right, people who don't like chamber music, stop watching now. Buy this and just don't listen to disc 5. Okay, disc 5 has two Hindemith string trios, Opus 24 and one from 1933. Actually, the one from 1933 is quite a charming work. It's a delightful little work, and in fact, that was the work, I believe, because I did my master's thesis on this, and if I haven't entirely forgotten everything about it, that got him into horrible trouble with the Nazis, because, he was in trouble because of having written the opera Mathis der Maler and having gotten Furtwängler to support him. But this little piece, it's 21 minutes long, is really quite lovely. And, it was right around the time when all hell was going to break loose, because of his opera and because of Furtwängler and all that stuff. And, he couldn't win. He wrote this lovely little string trio. Anyway, the Hindemith pieces are typical Hindemith. They're contrapuntal and sometimes gnarly and sometimes not. And that's the truth. But then the last work is Arnold Schoenberg's String Trio Opus 45. Oh boy, this is a toughie. It is one of the most ungrateful, difficult, annoying pieces that Schoenberg ever wrote. And Schoenberg was very big at writing annoying pieces. And it didn't matter whether they were atonal or 12-tone or tonal or not. Everything Schoenberg wrote was annoying to some degree because that was his thing. He was just an acerbic composer. And even when he's writing tonal music, it always has this edge and never does what you think it's going to. It's confrontational music. And this string trio is boy, is it confrontational. It is very, very difficult. And so if you don't like it, it's okay. It's really okay. You don't have to like it. You may want to listen to it every so often, every few years, and maybe in 20 or 30 or 40 or 80 or, however many years are left to you, it will strike you as a masterpiece. Hasn't struck me yet. And I'm not ashamed to say so. I'm really not. It's just really nasty music, period. But that's okay, because you'll never hear it played with more artistry and subtlety and sophistication, with every single nasty pant, snarl, wheeze, crunch, and screech lovingly coaxed from Schoenberg's incredibly austere textures. How's that for a recommendation? But seriously, this is a fantastic box of amazing performances by a tremendous group of crack soloists, simply wonderfully recorded. You can't do better. So keep on listening, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.